As the flagship's shields flickered, Alan shouted, "All ships, target the central core! We need to end this!" With one last push, the human fleet concentrated their fire on the flagship's core. Energy beams struck true, and the flagship shuddered violently. Alan felt a rush of hope. They could win this! But then a bright flash lit up the dark space. The flagship unleashed a massive counterattack, a last-ditch effort to take down the humans. The energy wave surged toward the fleet, threatening to destroy everything in its path. "Brace for impact!" Alan yelled, gripping the console as the ship shook violently. The crew scrambled to hold on, fear creeping into their hearts. They had fought so hard they couldn't lose now. In that moment of chaos, something unexpected happened. The human ships, fueled by their unity and determination, rallied together. They combined their shields, creating a barrier against the oncoming energy wave. "Together!" Alan shouted, knowing this was their moment. "We are stronger united!" The energy wave struck the barrier, shaking the ships, but the combined shields held firm. The crew watched in disbelief as their unity pushed back against the powerful attack. With renewed hope, Alan took a deep breath. "Now! Fire everything we have!" The human fleet unleashed one final assault. Energy beams flooded the battlefield, striking the flagship's core. The flagship shuddered and groaned, and with a massive explosion, it finally fell. Cheers erupted on the bridge as the crew realized they had won. The galactic fleet was in disarray, and the humans had emerged victorious. Captain Allen stood tall, filled with pride. They had faced the odds and triumphed. The Galactic Council had learned a valuable lesson: never underestimate humanity. They were warriors, united and unbreakable. As the crew celebrated, Alan looked out into the stars. This was just the beginning. The humans had fought for their future, and now they would protect it. They had awakened the spirit of humanity, and they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. On the distant alien planet of Zephyra, the air buzzed with excitement. Bright blue skies stretched above, dotted with shimmering clouds. In a large futuristic building called the Zephyra Research Center, a group of scientists gathered. They were the brightest minds on the planet, searching for answers to mysteries of the universe. Among them was Dr. Zira, a passionate and fearless scientist known for her wild ideas. Zira had always been fascinated by ancient myths and legends. She believed that stories held truths about the past. Today, she and her colleagues were about to uncover something that would change everything. As the team gathered in the main lab, Zira felt a surge of hope. "Today, we will explore the lost archives," she announced, her voice filled with enthusiasm. "I believe we can find something amazing." The other scientists exchanged doubtful glances. "Lost archives? That's just an old story," said Dr. Grin, a skeptical colleague with glasses that slipped down his nose. "No one has ever found anything useful there." But Zira was undeterred. She knew that the legend spoke of a powerful species known as humans. Many believed they were just fairy tales, but Zira felt deep down that there was more to the story. The team decided to give her one chance. They boarded their sleek research ship, the Explorer, and set off toward the hidden ruins where the lost archives were said to be located. As they flew through the vibrant skies of Zephyra, Zira's heart raced with anticipation. After a long journey, they arrived at a mysterious site filled with ancient stones covered in strange symbols. The area was quiet, and a sense of magic filled the air. Zira led the way, her eyes scanning the ground for anything unusual. Suddenly, she spotted a partially buried object that shimmered in the sunlight. "Over here!" Zira shouted, rushing toward the find. The others quickly followed, curiosity piqued. As they dug it out, they revealed a beautifully crafted artifact, a golden scroll covered in intricate designs. "What is it?" asked Dr. Elan, one of her teammates, looking both excited and nervous. "I think it's a scroll that speaks of humans," Zira replied, her hands trembling with excitement. "We need to read it!" The team gathered around as Zira carefully unfurled the scroll. The symbols glowed faintly, and as Zira read aloud, her voice echoed through the ruins. In the ancient times, there existed a race called humans. They were brave and strong, with a spirit that could not be broken. They traveled among the stars, building great ships and creating wonders beyond imagination. As she continued, Zira's heart swelled with pride. The stories spoke of humans' incredible technology, their battles against darkness, and their unyielding will. The scroll revealed that humans were not just myths. They were real beings who had once roamed the universe. Suddenly, Zira's colleagues reacted with disbelief. "This is nonsense," Dr. Grin exclaimed, shaking his head. "There's no way humans ever existed. It's just a fairy tale." But Zira stood firm.
No!
"We can't dismiss this. If humans were real, imagine what we could learn from them. We must find them!" Her determination ignited a spark of interest in the others, but not everyone was convinced. Dr. Grin and a few others exchanged worried glances, their expressions filled with doubt. They didn't want to pursue what they saw as a foolish quest, but Zira was resolute. She felt a calling to uncover the truth. That night, as the stars shone brightly overhead, Zira couldn't sleep. She thought about the scroll and the humans described within it. What if they really existed? What if they were waiting for someone to find them? She made a decision. Zira would not let fear or doubt stop her. She would gather a team and embark on a journey to Earth, the home of the humans. But she knew that some of her colleagues might not support her. She would have to be brave and find a way to convince them. The next morning, Zira called an emergency meeting. She stood before her team, her eyes shining with determination. "We have to search for the humans. They are not just a myth, and I believe we can find them. Let's make history together." With hope in her heart, Zira was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. She had a feeling that this was just the beginning of an incredible adventure. The next day, Zira gathered her team in the main hall of the Zephyra Research Center. The room was filled with the soft hum of excitement and nervous energy. "I know some of you are unsure about this mission," she began, looking at each of her colleagues. "But I believe that finding humans is important. Together we can make a difference." Zira's words sparked interest among some, but Dr. Grin crossed his arms, his expression skeptical. "This is a waste of time, Zira. We have no proof humans exist. We could be chasing shadows." Ignoring his negativity, Zira pressed on. "We will use the ship the Explorer and travel to Earth, following the clues from the scroll. We have the chance to discover something amazing." After much discussion, Zira managed to convince her team. They prepared the ship for departure, packing supplies and equipment needed for the journey. As they boarded, Zira felt a mix of excitement and fear. Would they really find humans? Or would this be just another wild chase? The Explorer soared through the sky, leaving Zephyra behind. The ship was sleek and fast, equipped with advanced technology. As they traveled, the stars stretched out before them like diamonds scattered on black velvet. Zira felt a thrill. They were on their way to uncovering a great mystery. As the days passed, the team worked hard, navigating through space. Zira spent hours at the control panel, studying the maps and coordinates. She was determined to reach Earth. Her team, though skeptical at first, began to share her excitement. They took turns on watch, each member contributing their skills. One evening, while Zira was studying the star maps, the ship's alarms suddenly blared. "We have company!" shouted Dr. Elin, who was monitoring the scanners. Zira quickly turned to the screen, and her heart raced. A group of space pirates had spotted them. The pirates flew ships with dark colors and sharp edges, their intentions clear. They wanted to steal the valuable technology from the Explorer. "Prepare for battle!" Zira commanded, her voice steady. The team scrambled to their stations. She knew they had to defend their ship. The pirates fired their weapons, and the ship shook violently. Zira gripped the control panel, focusing on keeping the ship steady. "Return fire!" she shouted. Dr. Elon and Dr. Grin worked quickly, targeting the approaching ships. Zira took a deep breath, her mind racing. They needed a strategy. "Split up! Let's confuse them!" Zira ordered. The team followed her command, separating the ship into two paths. The pirates hesitated, trying to track them down. Zira felt a rush of adrenaline as the chase unfolded. Just then, a pirate ship came too close. Zira saw the pirate captain grinning at her through the viewfinder. "Prepare to be boarded!" he yelled, but Zira was ready. With a quick maneuver, she dodged their attack and fired back, hitting the enemy ship's engines. The pirates screamed in anger as their ship spun out of control. Zira's heart raced, feeling both fear and excitement. They were winning! The remaining pirate ships, realizing they were outmatched, turned to flee. Cheers erupted in the control room as Zira and her team celebrated their victory. With the threat gone, Zira took a moment to breathe. "We did it!" she exclaimed, smiling at her crew. "We worked together and it paid off. We're one step closer to Earth." After the battle, they resumed their journey. The crew shared stories and laughed, the tension from before fading away. Zira felt a bond forming among them, united by their quest. As they approached Earth, Zira felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. The blue planet loomed ahead, beautiful and full of mystery. What awaited them? Would they find the humans they sought? "We're almost there," Zira said, her eyes shining with hope. The ship entered Earth's atmosphere, and they began their descent. The vibrant landscapes and vast oceans filled their view, making Zira's heart race. "This is it," she whispered to herself, filled with determination. "This is the beginning of an incredible adventure." With a steady hand, Zira guided the ship toward an isolated area known as the Forgotten Ruins, where the scroll had hinted at human activity. Little did they know, their arrival would soon change the course of history. As the explorer touched down on Earth, Zira felt her heart pound with excitement. The ship's landing gear made a soft thud as it settled on the ground. Zira quickly gathered her team, who buzzed with anticipation. "This is it! We are about to make first contact with humans," she announced, her voice filled with energy. The team opened the ship's hatch, and fresh, earthy air rushed in. Zira took a deep breath, feeling a mix of anxiety and hope. The landscape was beautiful, filled with tall trees, colorful flowers, and a clear blue sky. Everything looked so different from Zephyra. "Let's set up camp and gather our equipment," Zira said, looking around. The area was quiet and peaceful, perfect for their mission. As the team set up the camp, Zira felt a spark of determination. They were about to make history. After a few hours of preparation, Zira gathered everyone around. "We need to decide how to approach the humans," she said, looking at her team. "We want to show them that we come in peace." Dr. Grin raised an eyebrow. "But what if they don't trust us? What if they see us as a threat?" Zira nodded, understanding his concern. "We must be careful. Let's use our technology to communicate with them. We can send a message using our ship's transmitter." The team worked together, and soon a message was ready. Zira pressed a button and watched as the words appeared on the screen. "We come in peace. We are explorers from Zephyra. Please, we wish to meet you." They sent the message into the air, hoping someone would receive it. The group waited anxiously, their hearts racing. Minutes felt like hours, but finally they received a response. A small glowing dot appeared on their screen, indicating an incoming transmission. "Who could it be?" asked Dr. Elin, his eyes wide with excitement. Zira leaned closer to the screen. "Let's find out," she urged. The screen flickered, and suddenly an image appeared. It showed a human, a young woman with bright eyes and an inquisitive smile. She looked surprised but friendly. "Hello? Is anyone there?" she asked, her voice coming through the speakers. Zira could hardly contain her excitement. "Yes, we are here. We are Zephians, and we come in peace," she replied, her voice steady despite her racing heart. The woman on the screen looked amazed. "Zephians? I've never heard of you before. Are you really from another planet?" "Yes," Zira said, her face glowing with enthusiasm. "We traveled far to find you. We want to learn about humans and share our knowledge." The woman's eyes widened with curiosity. "That's incredible. I'm Sarah, by the way. I live nearby. Where exactly are you?" Zira quickly explained their location and asked if Sarah could meet them in person. "We would love to see you and learn more about your world." After a moment of thought, Sarah replied, "I'll be there soon. I can bring some friends to help." This is too exciting to miss. Zira and her team couldn't believe it. They had made their first contact with a human. As they waited for Sarah, they felt a mix of anticipation and nervousness. What would humans be like? Would they be welcoming? When Sarah arrived, she was not alone. A group of curious humans followed her. They looked at Zira and her team with wide eyes, a mix of wonder and caution on their faces. Zira stepped forward, smiling brightly. "Hello, I am Dr. Zira from Zephyra. We come in peace and want to learn about your world," she said, her voice filled with warmth. The humans looked at each other, unsure at first. Then Sarah spoke up. "We're friendly. Let's show you around. We have so much to share." Zira's heart swelled with joy. "Thank you. We have much to learn from you, and we hope to share our knowledge too." As they walked together, Zira noticed the beauty of Earth, the vibrant colors, the sound of birds singing, and the warmth of the sun. She felt a deep connection with the humans, realizing they shared the same curiosity about the universe. Zira and her team spent the day learning from Sarah and her friends. They exchanged stories about their worlds, their cultures, and their dreams. Each moment filled Zira with excitement and wonder. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the landscape, Zira felt grateful. They had made first contact, not just with humans, but with friends. Together, they were ready to explore the unknown hand in hand. Little did they know, this was just the beginning of a great adventure that would change their lives forever. The sun rose brightly over the horizon, casting a warm glow on the camp where Zira and her team had made first contact with humans. The excitement from the previous day still buzzed in the air as they gathered for breakfast. Zira could see that everyone was eager to learn more about each other. She smiled at her team, feeling a sense of unity among them. After breakfast, Zira suggested they split into small groups to share knowledge. "This is our chance to learn about human culture," she said. "Let's explore their technology, art, and history." Dr. Elon nodded enthusiastically. "I'd love to see their inventions. I've heard humans are very creative." As the teams prepared to separate, Sarah approached Zira. "I can take you and your team to a nearby village," she offered. "You will meet more people and see how we live." Zira's eyes lit up with excitement. "That sounds perfect. Thank you, Sarah." The group set off, walking through the lush forest surrounding the camp. Zira marveled at the beauty of Earth, the tall trees, colorful flowers, and the sound of birds singing. As they walked, Sarah shared stories about her life, her family, and the challenges humans faced. "Life isn't always easy," Sarah admitted, her voice serious. "We have problems like wars and pollution, but we also have hope. We work hard to make our world better." Zira listened closely, feeling a strong connection to Sarah's words. They were both explorers in their own ways, seeking solutions to the challenges they faced. When they reached the village, Zira was amazed. The houses were small but colorful, and people were busy going about their daily tasks. Children played in the streets, their laughter ringing like music. Zira felt her heart swell with happiness. As they introduced themselves, the villagers were curious but cautious. Some looked at Zira and her team with wide eyes, while others whispered among themselves. Zira understood their concern. Meeting aliens was a big deal. "Please, we mean no harm," Zira said, her voice calm and reassuring. "We are here to learn and share." Sarah stepped in, speaking to the villagers. "They come in peace. Let's show them our world. They are our friends." Gradually, the villagers began to relax. They shared their food, traditions, and stories. Zira and her team felt welcomed and accepted. However, not everyone was happy about the newcomers. In the corner of the village, a group of men watched with distrust. Their leader, a burly man named Jarek, approached Sarah. "What are these aliens doing here?" "They could be dangerous," he shouted, pointing a finger at Zira and her team. Zira felt her heart sink. She could sense the tension in the air. "We are explorers," she said, stepping forward. "We wish to help and learn. We mean no harm to your people." Jarek shook his head. "How do we know you're telling the truth? You could be spies or worse." Zira's mind raced. She needed to prove their intentions were genuine. "Let us show you our technology," she suggested. "You can see for yourself that we come in peace." After a moment of hesitation, Jarek agreed. "Fine, show us what you have." Zira led the way back to the Explorer, her heart pounding. She opened the ship's hatch and invited everyone inside. "Welcome. This is our home," she said, trying to sound confident. The villagers entered cautiously, their eyes wide with amazement as they looked at the advanced technology. Zira showed them the control panel, the communication devices, and the tools they used for exploration. "Everything we have is for peace and knowledge," Zira explained. "We use our technology to help others and understand the universe." Some villagers were impressed, nodding in agreement. But Jarek remained skeptical, crossing his arms. "This is just a trick. You could be hiding something," he said. Zira felt frustrated but refused to give up. "We have nothing to hide. We want to build trust, not fear." Just then, a loud crash echoed outside. The ground shook as a group of rogue humans stormed into the village, brandishing weapons and shouting angrily. "Get away from those aliens!" they yelled, their faces twisted in rage. Zira's heart raced as chaos erupted. She could see fear in the eyes of the villagers and knew they needed to act fast. "We must protect each other!" she shouted, rallying her team. In that moment, Zira realized that trust was not just about words. It was about standing together, facing challenges as one. They were all in this together, and they would fight to protect their newfound friendship. The chaos in the village was overwhelming. Zira's heart raced as she watched the rogue humans storming in, shouting threats. The villagers were scared, and Zira felt a sense of urgency. "We must protect everyone!" she shouted to her team, determined to stand strong. As the rogue humans approached, Jarek stepped forward, his face filled with anger. "What do you want?" he yelled. "Leave the aliens alone!" One of the rogue leaders, a tall man with a fierce look, sneered. "We don't trust them! They're a danger to our world! We need to get rid of them!" Zira could see that fear was driving these humans. They didn't understand her intentions. "We come in peace," she shouted, her voice echoing. "We want to help, not harm." But the rogue humans only laughed, waving their weapons menacingly. Zira felt a wave of fear wash over her, but knew she had to stay calm. She turned to her team. "We must show them we are not a threat. Use the ship's technology to help protect the villagers." Dr. Elin quickly activated a protective shield from the Explorer. A shimmering barrier surrounded the villagers, blocking the rogue humans from getting closer. The villagers watched in awe as the shield glowed, providing a sense of safety. Jarek stood tall, his voice firm. "You see? They are here to help us. We can't let fear tear us apart." He stepped back, looking at the rogue humans. "If you attack them, you attack us." Zira felt a surge of hope. Yarek's bravery inspired the villagers to stand united. Slowly, the tension in the air began to shift. The rogue humans looked confused, unsure of what to do next. "Why should we trust you?" one of the rogues shouted, trying to regain control of the situation. Zira took a deep breath. "We are not here to take anything from you. We want to learn and share knowledge. Together we can solve our problems." The rogue leader hesitated, glancing at his friends. Zira saw a flicker of uncertainty in their eyes. "We can help with the issues you face. Together we can find solutions for pollution, wars, and even food shortages," she continued, her voice steady and sincere. Jarek stepped closer to Zira. "We have a chance to build something great here. Let's not waste it." Finally, the rogue leader lowered his weapon. Maybe you're right. But how can we trust you?" he asked, still unsure. Zira smiled gently. "Let us show you. We can work together. We can share our technology and knowledge, and you can teach us about your ways." The villagers began to murmur, their faces lighting up with hope. Jarek nodded slowly, his expression softening. "If they can help us, maybe we should give them a chance." Zira felt a wave of relief wash over her. The atmosphere in the village began to change. "Let's talk. We can figure this out together," she said, reaching out her hand. One by one, the rogue humans lowered their weapons, cautiously stepping forward. Slowly, they joined the villagers in a circle around Zira and Jarek. A sense of unity began to form, replacing fear with curiosity. Zira and her team shared their knowledge about their advanced technology, and the humans explained their struggles. Ideas flowed freely, and solutions began to emerge. Zira felt a growing bond between everyone. Realizing they were no longer just two different species, they were allies working toward a common goal. As the sun set, casting a warm golden light over the village, Zira looked around at the faces filled with hope and determination. She could see a future where humans and Xiphians worked together, creating a better world for both. "We can do this," Zira said, her voice filled with conviction. "Together we will create a brighter future for all." Cheers erupted from the villagers, and even the rogue humans smiled, their hearts softening. They began to discuss plans, excited about the possibilities ahead. With every conversation, Zira felt a deep sense of belonging. She realized they had achieved something incredible. It was more than just a meeting between two worlds. It was the beginning of a lasting friendship. Zira knew that challenges lay ahead, but with trust and teamwork, they could overcome anything. The journey had just begun, and together, they would explore the universe, hand in hand, building a brighter future for all.